Today we are joined by Corie Mapp, former Household Cavalry soldier, an Afghanistan veteran, and now a Paralympian bobsleigh champion.
The Taliban at the time were so evil, they stuck their legs on trees. When the lads went out, you'd see it.
If they told you the truth, it'd be f***ing uproar.
I've never said that to anybody. They parked on top of an IED, I didn't know.
Corie's story is one of resilience.
The explosion was that big.
After losing both his legs in Afghanistan,
Broke my jaw and it took my left leg straight away. This leg was so badly broken that all these bones that are connected to knuckles, they came through this hole. The skin was just like that.
did they wake you up and say, "You've lost your leg"? Do you think it was a waste of time for us being out there? So this is going to be a hard one because I served with Corie on the Afghan tour that he lost both his legs on, and it's quite difficult because even though he wasn't in the same troop as me, I lost guys, amputees on that tour, and it is difficult. So if you're watching this video on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, ring the notification bell to remind you as well. All right, it costs you nothing, guys, absolutely nothing, but it helps me unlock so many different avenues to my YouTube channel. Corie is a total inspiration. He's a bit of a legend in my eyes. He's achieved so much. So let's dive straight into it, guys. Corie, thank you for coming on to be on the scope of my first podcast.
Thank you for having me.
The first question I'm going to ask you, where the f is the recruiting office in Barbados? If I was in, I would want that posting. Are they British guys there?
There are British guys in
Yeah.
the British High Commission.
Okay.
Yeah, so I initially applied online and I went to do the Royal Marines selection, but my dad died. You know, I found it really difficult to leave my mother and go back after that. So I spent another year in the police and then I left.
What made you want to join the British Army? Did you have family over here?
I have uncles and aunts over here.
But your mum and you?
My mom, my sisters, all of them, they live back in Barbados still. I got into cadets actually through being a naughty boy at school. So the option was you got 7 lashes and join cadets or suspension. Yeah, no, I'm going to take the lashes because I can't negotiate suspension with my mum. That was the beginning of my journey from a military standpoint. But going further back, I first came here in 1985. My uncle took me to see the changing of the guard, and that left the biggest impression on me ever. It's just like that, the red tunic, and you know, it was just something special. And then the flags on the mall.
Yeah.
It etched a picture in my mind.
Sure.
So when I got into cadets and I saw some of these same people, I thought, yeah, I want to do that.
So you've come to England. Where did you do your basic training?
Purbury.
Were you the only black guy?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel that they treated you different?
Yeah. They did treat me different in that I came in as a mature person.
So how old were the rest of the lads?
I would say late teens, very early 20s.
That's the hard, isn't it? And how old were you when you?
I was 23, probably
23,
24.
yeah. Maturer than they you are.
Because I'd lived a bit of life. I was in the Barbados Defence Force. I'd as a reserve, and I already knew how to prepare uniform, shine boots, all this stuff already. So like my first night, I ended up doing stuff like pressing nearly 20 pairs of trousers because they didn't know how to iron. I wanted us to have a good experience rather than be trashed for whatever reason.
Why the Household Cavalry?
I went to the British High Commission to meet someone, and I didn't know that the person was ex-Household Cavalry or whatever the case might be. He was a corporal of horse. He was like, okay, well, come with me, I got something to show you. So he showed me a video of a scimitar in Barbados. I was like, I have a bit of that, yeah.
That's what they always do, isn't it?
They never show you the horses.
No, do they?
They never show you.
You're like, I want some of that.
I want that.
Yeah.
Right? So at the end of it, he was like, yeah, when you guys get to London. I'm like, I'm not going to London, sir. So he said, yeah, you are. I'm like, no, I signed up to go to Bovington. He's like, no, you're going to London. You're going to learn to ride horses. So yeah, at that point, I was just like, I don't want that. I kind of kicked and screamed for a little while.
People out there, my regiment's split into two. So you've got the ceremonial side, which is the troop and the colour on the horses, the state kit. And also you've got the, we call it the green side or the armoured side, which you're in scimitars, and it's the reconnaissance side of the regiment, which was based in Windsor, but they're based in Balford.
It turned out to be one of the best things I've ever done.
Really?
It turned out to be an amazing experience because my mum, who had just retired, not long retired, she could walk from Stillington Street in Victoria to Horse Guards. And many times, many mornings, I would be in the boxes just minding my own business, and I would just feel this presence just looking up at me, you know. And yeah, this is very emotional for me actually, but she would just be there looking up at me and with the utmost pride, you know, at what she saw, and you know, like we achieved what we set out to achieve, and that's what made it all worthwhile.
You're at Knightsbridge, you're bouncing guards.
Yeah.
Because it got investigated, didn't it? Because lads were going AWOL. We had the highest AWOL in the British Army, the highest suicide rate in the Army. It's like doing SAS selection.
It was
the
really
intensity.
hard. It was hard.
You know, cleaning the kit early in the morning, waking up with a tap stuck to your chest because you fell asleep on your bed with your digi on. And a digi is like a silhouette that you buff your boots up with, and you had gauntlet marks on your on your arms, and you still went out clubbing.
It built a bond that is kind of unbreakable now.
Oh, massively. Did you request to go to Windsor, or was it just your time up at Knightsbridge?
I had changes, and I went to look at what the Metropolitan Police was like, and I started to, you know, sway a little bit. But then my wife, my mother and sisters, and them asked, you know, like, why are you here? What did you want to do as a kid? Do you want to be a police officer? If you wanted to be a police officer, you could stay in Barbados and done that. Why do you want to come and police someone else's country? Let's get back on track. And then the opportunity for Afghan came and Sea Squadron came, and everything started to look up. They said to me, you know, right, we're going to put you on your riding course. I'm like, nope, I'm going to Windsor. He's like, why do you want to go to Windsor? You're a family man. Like, it could ruin your life. You know, so I thought, well, I didn't join to ride horses only though. I want to go to Windsor and experience what the other lads are doing. He's like, no, come on, you're doing well. You're gonna get promoted here soon. Like, don't go to Windsor now. I was like, nah, I gotta go. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think he was quite disappointed because it was myself and Rocky Ruasa.
Love Rocky.
He's what a guy. He was in your troop in Afghanistan as well, wasn't he?
I'll go off on a story here. He stopped. This is the day I got blown up. 4:30, December the 14th. Remember it. And he said to me, I got kids at home, Craig, and I've got a bad feeling. And I turned around to Cliff and I said, we'll lead. And obviously as a free boy, you don't lead. I led. I pushed in front of Rocky, led, and I hit an IED. So, but I'm glad I did, because of what I'd done. I'm sorry, go on.
That's all right. That's all right.
Rocky's the top bloke.
He is. He's a fantastic human being.
So you've done Knightsbridge, you've gone to Windsor now, you're in Sea Squadron. Let's talk about, if you wouldn't mind, you know, I find it difficult. Let's talk about the day, what changed your life. They always say you got these spider senses, like something's not right, it doesn't feel like it used to, the atmospherics were different. Just take us through that day. Take us through how you were feeling, and do you remember the time? Do you remember?
I don't remember anything.
Nothing at all.
Everything that I know is what I was told. The night before, we were told basically that they wanted to take a scimitar forward. I remember feeling, I don't want to do that. Because the road that they wanted to go down, nobody ever went that way. And you were on the sides. You were up on that hill, because it was when we developed Habib, when we had Habib built around us. We were up on there as a recce screen. My wagon, Mr. Campbell's wagon, and the Sami. The Sami is a recovery vehicle for the scimitars and CVRT type stuff.
Do you know what though? Having that there, it's like a good omen anyway that something's going to happen.
They parked on top of an IED and didn't know.
Really?
That was crazy. But we only found that out by happenstance. For whatever reason, nobody ever went near it, and it never went off.
That's what I mean about spider senses.
Yeah,
You think
I didn't feel good about it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel great. That whole day, I just remember looking at that road, and then we had a guy called Mark Allen who'd been injured recently, and I saw you looking at the sights and you were watching the guy's vacuum. He had double above knee amputations. And the Taliban at the time they were so evil that they were they stuck their legs on trees so that when the lads went out, we could see it, which was it was a horrible thing. It was just the whole place was just heavily IED'd. But the wonderful thing about it was that when we first arrived there, the village was a complete ghost town. But within that 2-day period, you saw families come out and you saw kids come out and start to play and a bunch of different things. And it was like, this is why I'm here. This is all right. This is what we're here for.
Hearts and minds.
Yeah.
Being,
liberating people from tyranny.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is why we're here. It lifted my spirit personally. I don't know if it did the same, but I remember thinking,
it's because you're a family man.
Exactly.
You expect this.
Exactly. Yeah, because you think that kid's about the same age as my kid, and the beautiful thing about Afghanistan, the scenery is still very biblical.
It's a magical country.
It is an absolute stunning place. You stand on top of the wadi, on top of that plateau by Fort Edinburgh. There was like a cliff or like a canyon.
Oh, you got the wadi system.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you stand on the edge of that and you can look across it. And it's just a fantastic... I've never seen stars bigger. I've never seen skies more clear.
Well, there's no ambient light, is there?
It's just no light pollution or anything whatsoever. And I just used to marvel at it. I just loved it. It was my happiest time in the army, I would say. And as I said, if I'd stayed at Knightsbridge and did the riding course, I wouldn't have experienced that. So it's one of those things that, but even with the hardship and the difficulty that came along with Windsor, I loved it. I wouldn't change anything about it at all. Yeah, so back to Habib, sorry. On that day, we were helping the Vikings advance the Flet.
So the Flet guys is the forward line of enemy troops.
One of the Royal Anglian Vikings, they were badly injured and the Taliban had them pinned down. As a result of that, they couldn't establish the HLS fast enough and the helicopter was already inbound. It was at that point that they asked my crew commander become a recce screen again so that we could take fire and they could get him to where he needs to be and establish the HLS. At that point, I asked Frankie, who was my crew commander, do you want me to go down so you can move the gun? And he said, no, just stay where you are. And that's the last thing I remember. Went off directly underneath my seat and it took my left leg straight away.
I'm going to ask you, do you have all your bolts?
My bolts were loosened.
Loosened. It's a flat-based vehicle, so when you hit an IED, there's no way
there's nothing to
for
deflect.
This explosion to go. On the scimitar itself, you have decking, and you can lift up to access the gearbox and the engine. And it was a trait not to have all your bolts in, because it was a nightmare ratcheting all these bolts off. So what lads used to do is put one in each corner, or just hand tighten them on.
Yeah.
Does that save your life?
There was another reason for that. The guys in the REME said to me, don't fully tighten it because if you hit an IED, it's going to release the pressure.
Yeah.
So the decks can come off naturally, just fly off. So it was actually good that the bolts were loose because the explosion was that big that the turret came off. The bar armor was mangled. The hull was cracked. The hull itself was cracked.
Trouble is, you got fit for that hole as well. That hit your chin.
That's exactly what happened.
It hit your chin.
It broke my jaw. It degloved my... I still have a scar here from around this area to up here. Completely came off. and I was dragged up by my helmet and thrown.
So you're discarded from the.
Yeah, the vehicle went off the track a couple of meters or so, and I got thrown with the explosion.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures. It
So
was fucking horrific, mate.
I haven't seen all the pictures. I have said I don't really want to.
There's no front end at all.
I don't want to see it. I have the picture of it in DC.
Yeah, that's what I've got. Yeah.
But I don't really. There's no real need to go over it.
No.
I leave that where it is.
So what they did, they had something similar to this, but it'd be yellow.
Like an oil can. I'd like a yellow oil can with a red top.
Yeah, red screw-on lid.
A red screw-on lid, and they would pack like 2 of them full of Simtex.
So mine was 30 kilos. 2 anti-tank mines stacked on. Yours must have been a pressure plate.
They said that mine was in and around 100.
So a pressure plate's 2 metal objects together. You step on it, make that connection, and it goes off.
Jerry Maguire, my Troop 3 bar, and Bezzy, one of the lads, I think found me first, administered the morphine and the 9-liner and all that, and then I think the Anglian Sergeant Major put me on the back of a quad bike and took me back to, where did they take me? I don't know.
You went back to Bastion?
I went back with somebody. You remember there was a situation where some Coldstream guards or something got attacked by the Afghan police?
Yep.
I was on that.
They got fucking smashed.
They got absolutely smashed. And I ended up in rehab with one of the guys who survived that. He said it was one of the most horrific things he had experienced, because they were walking around looking for people to finish off. My hand, all these bones that are connected to knuckles, they came through this hole. So basically the skin was just like that.
Really?
And the bone was just hanging. So they had to put all these back together, and then they put a metal strip in there, and then later removed it and put the bone back.
Works fine.
It works fine.
When did you lose the other leg?
The same day.
The same day?
Yeah, I went back to Bastion essentially. And this leg was so badly broken that they cut it off.
And it's from the knee down?
Yeah, from the knees.
From the knee down?
Knees, yeah.
Do you get phantom leg?
I do. I don't get pain. I get sensations.
Like an itch or something?
Yes. So it might feel like the ball of my foot is itching, but then I can scratch. I'll feel around my leg. I'll find the place where it's connected to, and then I can just scratch there and it'll go away.
Do you sometimes forget you're an amputee?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Initially, in the hospital, I swung off the bed. And I was like, I want to go to the bathroom. I swung off the bed, got up, dotish, swung off the bed and just, yeah.
Did they wake you up and say you've lost your legs?
No.
Because that's what they usually do.
So what happened to me was, one of the nurses was apparently, from what I understand, giving me too much morphine. I had some kind of allergy or intolerance to morphine, and it was keeping me in a coma. Really? Like my lowest point was the day I had my first shower. I had not seen my kids yet. And they said, all right, you're going to have your first bath today. I said, yeah, all right, fine. So the nurse took me into the shower and said to me, all right, you got your soap, you got this is the little red thing that you pull. If you've got any issues, just give us a shout. And I said, yeah, I'll be fine, don't worry, I don't need any help. And I turned on the shower, and immediately everything around me was red, like that from a shock standpoint. Like, although you knew that you were in a bad way, you didn't expect that, and just everything was red. And then I thought, oh, okay. And then I looked down at my legs, and I thought, oh, you know, there's just little pieces that chipping away at, and then I put soap in my hair and started to soap, and my hair slid off, and that broke me immediately. I was just like, no. And I ended up crying so hard that the lady, the nurse that was at the station, she heard me and came, opened the door, and she just wrapped her arms around me in the shower, and she said, "Are you okay? You're gonna be all right. You'll get through this. You're gonna be fine." She was there getting wet with me, helping me bathe, and trying to get me through this, and I'm just bawling. Um, and the lads on the ward at the time, I remember some of them being emotional about it, but that was my absolute lowest point, because I was just like, how did I get myself into this? And then she said, right, you're gonna see your girls this evening. You're gonna see your girls this evening. Let's look forward to that. Because up to that point, the physio could not get me out of bed. And later that afternoon, I saw my my kids, and the middle one, Jodie, she jumped up on the bed, and she was full of beans and you know full of life and everything. And that at that point, I thought, shake yourself out of this, buddy. You gotta go. This is time to move. Um, I as soon as they left, I went to the nurse station and said, get the physio. I need her now. I'm ready. And I never looked back after that.
It's
Yeah.
it's hard to hear because I nearly gave up,
Yeah.
and it's you give me courage.
I tried to take my own life at one point, and I had a similar experience with my dog, actually. Nobody was home. I was going through what I was going through with my previous job, and I thought, like, this is too much. Like, I did not survive this to go through this. Um, and I thought, I had enough. I had enough. And this is where the whole mental health thing comes in. Like, a lot of people take suicide for granted. And it's not like you wake up one morning and go, oh, I'm going to hang myself today, or I'm going to do this or whatever. Sometimes it's very simple. It's very slick. It's like, ooh, that beam. What would a rope look like on that beam? And then you say, oh, I'm going to try it. I'm going to tie that rope. And then, oh, what's a hangman's noose look like on that? And it's just like little subtle questions that come along for no reason. And for whatever reason, you go and you do it. And then until you find yourself in a situation where you've got the rope around your neck, or whatever it is you choose to use, belt, whatever. I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want this. And that it was at that point where, yes, the animal looked at me and was like, what are you doing? And then it's like whatever it was left me. And I thought, nah, this isn't me. I'm not this person. So, people, as I say, people see that side of me, or that the side of me that is doing well in bobsleigh, and I'm laughing. I don't really post personal on social media, but you get to a point where things are so low and so bad, and you think everyone is so caught up in their life that they don't really understand what it is that you feel or what you're going through. And at that point, it is at that point that you question your existence. And then you have a decision to make. And I guess, luckily for me, I had different things to distract me from it or whatever. The other time I thought about it, I was gonna drive into a fuel situation. I looked in the mirror and I saw that one of my kids was in the back. And I thought, So it's one of those situations. You have to decide. You have to address it. You have to find out how to address it. And that was during a period of my life where I had a lot going on, and I didn't feel people really understood. I felt alone in every sense of the word, and I just decided maybe they're better off. You have to decide to live or exist. And I'm not existing. I'm going to live every day as if it was my last. Because I could have experienced my last, and I didn't. And for whatever reason, for whatever entity, God, whoever, decided that that wasn't my time. And there's people who went through less and lost their lives. So why get to the point where you give up on your own? There's people who want to be where I am, want to be achieving the things I'm achieving. So for me to stop would be a massive failure. And I'm working with kids where I don't want them to give up. So why would I give up on my own for myself? So
Do you
I hope
think
that makes sense.
it does, mate? It's very. I appreciate.
I've never said that to anybody. I've only said that to my family, and only my family actually knows. So this is the first time I'm actually disclosing that I was that close to doing
And
something like that.
and I appreciate that, and it's good to talk, and because I have, and I sniped,
That in itself is a hard job.
and I took the targets out, and that scars me to see what I had done. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I struggle every day. Don't get me wrong, I get better. I surround myself with good people like Josh, my wife. I've got Steve, my dog, and I've learned since leaving the army to surround myself with positive people, because if I don't
That
do
is so
that,
important.
I am gonna go down a hole I don't want to go down.
That is so important.
And I learned that when I left. I learned the hard way. When you think you got people who've got your best interest at heart, and they haven't, and I've learned the hard way. And I think, and I can count people, my friends on one hand, and I'm missing a finger. So that's only 4 people.
Sometimes the difficult part about how do I put this? I think people will tell you, yeah, I know exactly what you're feeling. I'm going through it as well with you. No, you're not. You're not. You're going through it alongside me, but I'm going through it alone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Because everything I feel internally, when I'm in pain and I feel like I generally I cannot get out of bed today, or I try to put my legs on and they don't fit.
Does your legs swell?
Especially when I'm flying.
And then you can't put the prosthetic
Yeah.
on because of the swelling.
Yeah.
Do you
Or if
get
I've had a heavy day.
a heavy
before.
day? Okay.
The
What,
day
constantly
before.
on your
Yeah.
on your legs all the time?
Yeah.
Do you still feel pain? Because you mentioned pain.
Basically, having amputations is chronic pain. It's how much of it you can take and keep going. So you will never ever. There's never a time. There are days when you'll go, I feel good. But you do 3, 4, 5 hours on it, and you are feeling pain, regardless of how comfortable your prosthetic limbs are. So for me, it's developing the mindset of, right, this can't stop me now. Like, I have to keep going. Like, I know for a fact, I could easily just go home, just lie down for the next whatever, and just think myself into dying.
Cracking open a beer, just sit there and
just do nothing, just waste away. And it's the difference between living and existing. You have to find your beautiful place, that thing that motivates you, that thing that gets you up in the morning. For you, that is this place. And I have followed your progress over time. You find that thing that motivates you, that gets you out of bed, and you latch onto it. You hold on to it for dear life, because if you let go of that, there is nothing to govern where your mind or your psyche goes next. I don't want to know where it goes, to be completely honest. So I have to hold on to sport for dear life. I have to hold on to the things that motivate and keep me going.
That shows what a person you are.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? When I introduced you and said that you're a legend in my eyes to what you've achieved, and not let things set you back,
Mm.
and you've done what you've done, and you've done other things in your life prior up to these Victor's Games,
Yeah.
and as a double amputee, that you've achieved so much, and that shines through all the way from where you want your kids to, be better.
Yeah.
You saw kids in Afghan and you sympathise with them because you are a family man,
Right.
and now you don't want this to set you back. So it
No.
just shows you the person you are.
You have to remember as well that as a father, the Cubs are watching.
Oh yeah.
So like if you hit that wall and you decide, nah, I'm not going today. I'm just gonna sit here. The Cubs are gonna think that's all right. And that's where people like yourself came in. Like I go back to what we were talking about earlier where you got injured and you came into the ambulance that I was driving. Like vomiting, like being in a bad way, having me hit in your head. He's in a bad way here. You slept in the ambulance overnight, got up the next morning and went back and commanded your vehicle. And for us, that kind of strength, inner strength and leadership is what caused people like us to go, yeah, let's go. Let's go. If that could happen to him and he gets up and goes back on his jackal and keeps going forward, that you don't know how that would have motivated so many of us at that time. And we drove back and we were talking trash all the way to Musicala DC, right? And it's one of those things where an experience in life, that is another brick. It's brick upon brick upon brick. And when you get to that point where you need that resilience, where you need that strength, that inner strength, and that willpower, you have it. A lot of kids nowadays are suffering with really bad mental health, especially after COVID. And they won't come out straight and tell you, I'm struggling with this or this mentally. But you have to listen. It's in the subliminal messages. It's in the messages between the lines. A lot of us aren't very good at active listening. We hear what we want to hear. We listen to hear, but not to understand. And I think that is the thing that I've worked on most in the last couple of years. Listening, not to hear what the person's saying, but to understand what is actually being said. People do not come out and say, I'm suffering and I want this, or I'm going to do this if I don't get that. You have to listen to understand. And if you listen to understand, oftentimes you'll be able to ask the right questions and they will open up and tell you what you need to know.
I was in Birmingham when I got hit with a guy opposite me. He was a Coldstreamer, and he got hit by an RPG, and it didn't go off.
Okay.
But it hit him. It hit a compound wall, and it destroyed all his nerves in his body. So when he's sitting there talking to him, like me and you are, absolutely fine. Laying down, absolutely fine. Stand him up and ask him to walk, he can't. He's all over the shop because his nerves are just all shot. And I never knew this. And when I was talking to him, he came over to my bed, and I thought, fucking hell. And then he explained what the situation was. I struggle because of Waldy. Another bloke in my troop lost both his legs,
Yeah.
and
I actually went to look for him before I went on R&R. Spent time with him in the hospital.
yeah.
And he's like, Corie, this is you know what he's like.
You know what makes it hard though is being a free bar, which is a sergeant.
It's the burden of leadership.
it's the burden of leadership,
burden of
but
leadership.
it's asking the lads, what do you want to do after the tour? And then Wardy said, I want to transfer to the REME. I want to be a mechanic. Or Cliff, I want to be a medic in the medical corps. The decisions that I made on the ground has changed people's lives. I understand I can't think like that, but I can't help how my brain thinks, you know, and it's probably aspects of yourself, you know, you had dreams of where you wanted to go in the army.
Yeah.
You know, where did you want, if this didn't happen, where did you want to go in the army?
I wanted to be one of the first black WO2s.
Really? Mate, that's amazing.
That's all I wanted. Like,
You wanted to make the army your life.
I wanted to stay.
Yeah.
I wanted to stay. But then, you know, God has other plans for you.
Looking back at it, you know what I'm going to ask you now.
Yeah.
The way the Taliban went across the country to Kabul in 3 months, and we were out there for so long, do you think that was planned? Do you think it was a waste of time for us being out there?
I found that to be really hard. I found that very difficult because I thought to myself, we lost Joe Woodgate, we lost all these different people, you know, so many injuries. You got Wardies, we got myself, you got Daniel Dunn. So you've got all of these people that have given parts of themselves for what? But then, as I said before, I think back to arriving at PB Habib and seeing nothing, and then seeing people coming out and doing things, you know, as we got there. And then we just go, okay,
And
have it all back.
And then the Taliban goes, we'll let girls go to school, we'll let them learn, we'll let them read books, and now they've just totally
Nothing.
spat on the head and they've changed everything now.
They've gone completely back to where it was.
Yeah, completely. This is the government, isn't it? You'll never know how governments run. They're not going to tell you the truth. If they told you the truth, it'd be f***ing uproar. It would always profit from somebody else. So that happening to Afghan and the Taliban taking over is profited for some other country.
When you also consider that 93% opium leaves Afghanistan and comes through Europe, that is bigger than Afghanistan itself. That in itself is way bigger than anything that we can fathom or think about. Because when you think about the market for narcotics and whatnot, that's not just Afghan people growing drugs. They're doing the donkey work in terms of the irrigation ditches and drawing and the farming and whatnot. The actual drugs itself is way bigger than anything Afghan-wise.
You're a farmer, all right, and you've been growing opium for 10 years, and the Taliban has protected you.
And give you
right,
money.
And gave you money for growing it, all right? We come along, say grow wheat. What? Don't grow opium, grow wheat. We'll look after you. We're only there for 6 months, and then we got for someone else to take over. And the Taliban come, kill your family, kill every fighting age male in that village.
Put someone in your compound.
Yeah. And what would you rather do? Grow opium? I would. Money in your pocket and getting protected. You think we taught them how to fight the Russians? Mate, I've been in a mountain on Panda's Ridge looking down into the Wadi system. The f***ers were patrolling properly. And when they stop, they take a knee. When they stand back up, they walk and they patrol through open land, arrowhead, single file through narrow land.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they make. They do shoot and scoop tactics. They will all day up. Don't forget, they've got a dish dash on, pyjamas, an AK-47, a satchel full of bread. You know what I mean? Flip-flops made out of a tyre. And we've got ECM, we've got body armour, we've got a hat, helmet, we've got all this gear.
And this is where the flip, as I mentioned before, came in, because you had the further north you go, you're going towards Pakistan, and that's where you got a place out there called the Fatah, which is kind of like a tribal area, which is no man's land pretty much, and that's where the insurgents trained and how they entered. That was like a conveyor belt for them, and they were just coming in, and then they would come in, fight, go out, come in, fight, go out.
Panda's Ridge was the main place in Helmand where they distributed all the guns and ammo. So where Corie was, where they trained, where I was is where they got the ammo. So somewhere in the middle they fucking met, and they go off and do their thing.
Yep.
And they knew our SOP so much, they knew when we were in a contact situation, we take cover. So they started putting IEDs in ditches. So
Yeah.
lads were driving in ditches, pressure plate,
Where would they get the materials for the pressure plate?
a saw. They cut a saw in half.
It's not. They're not terribly high tech.
No, not at all.
They
Not
just use what they have.
Washing machine timer, microwave timer, a pot. Put a hole in a pot with water. Copper comes down and they touch.
Fill it with nails and ball bearings and whatever else.
Yeah. Pipe in their mouth with tin foil on. IED, suicide bomber. They bite down on it. They put stuff under their arms. When you go, raise your arms up, they go like that. The IED goes off.
I don't think it will ever be possible to dominate that region. But we did enough in 20 years that women were able to go to school. That generation, that whole generation, would have had a completely different life to what they've gone back to now.
Let's talk about the Invictus Games, all right? Because everyone knows you as now the bobslayer. Do you hold the world record?
Good. I'm ranked #1 in the world at the moment. I'm current world champion and current World Cup
And
champion.
how did that come around? You're a black guy. Bobsleighing does
Yeah.
not really fit in your remit from Barbados, does it?
I've invested a lot of time in it. As I said before, it's one of those situations where, because of everything that was happening in my life, I became hyper-focused on it. I used to spend 6 months at a time out in Calgary, which caused a lot of strain in my personal life. But I needed it. I can't really explain it, but
Oh, no, mate.
I needed
I
it.
know.
I needed it.
You need your time. When you're in that bobsleigh, does it remind you of being in a scimitar?
Yes, and the steering mechanism is similar. It's push and pull.
Do you have flashbacks?
No.
It's nothing like that at all for you.
The only thing I have in terms of any relation to that is because as we discussed earlier, I don't know what happened. Everything that I know of, someone has explained to me or told me. So because of that, my brain, when I go to sleep, takes me down that road again, and you will go off on different tangents trying to figure out, your brain, your body is actively trying to find out what happened after you shut down.
So you're in that bobsleigh,
Uh-huh.
right? You've been catapulted. Is it a catapult?
Yeah, it's like a catapult. Yeah.
How do you get faster? Because obviously that catapult is set to a certain.
It calibrates.
So you got to be more
To
gutsy
push.
in the corners.
Yeah. So basically, there are different lines you can drive. Just like F1, for instance. If you go in the dirty part of the track, then you're gonna lose time.
Yeah. And the tyres get cold.
Yeah. So in some corners, you got frost at the top. If you go too high, it's slowing you down.
I suppose it's like an adrenaline rush as well. When we went to Batters, you have adventure training, don't you?
Yeah.
And we went to Calgary skydiving. We're nuts, we were, because it was so no health and safety. And we used to say, let's see how low we can go before
you
pull
pull
our
the
chute.
parachute.
And we were chicken, and we go, you're fucking chicken. I got to this amount. And we were fucking low, yeah. And we were getting told off by the instructors and everything. But
I went to watch that, but I didn't try it.
But it must be like you going into the corner, going, "Well, I'm going to turn at the last minute."
The fastest lanes are borderline crashing. You are on the limit of what you can do. The reason I fell in love with this sport is because you get on that line and your mind is absolutely blank. Like I have nothing in my mind. So if I'm going through God knows whatever, because it is such a dangerous sport, I can zone out everything. I have that ability to compartmentalize it to a point where don't talk to me about anything else. Not interested. I can't hear it. I don't want to hear it. Like, that's tunnel vision. When I completely immersed in sport, I'm my happiest.
You're an inspiration to a lot of people. A lot of people. When you walk down here, you know, I thought, fuck, you look so well. You look so well, you know, and you're doing so well. And do you know what makes me proud, mate? Because I know you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I want to say I am so proud of you for what you've achieved and what you have gone through and what you have overcome. I just want the future. I want you to be a world champion bobslayer. I really do, and I want to.
I'm gonna
I
try
want
for sure.
people.
Continue to try.
Yeah, and I'll go. I know this guy. He's a legend. All right, because you are.
Thank you.
And I want to say
appreciate it.
thank you. I want to say thank you. You're a top bloke.
Thanks very much, man.
All right. Oh, you got a book. What's it called?
Black Ice.
Black Ice.
Yeah.
Where did black ice come from?
Oh, he's black. And he's
That's
on
what they
ice.
give me. That's the name they give me in bobsleigh.
Black Ice.
It's funny.
So, guys, get out and buy the book. All right. It's called Black Ice. It's on Amazon. I'll put it on the description below, guys. It'll be a good read. It'll be a good read. Only Forces has just sent me a question. I'm going to ask him now and see what he comes up with. So, Corie, obviously your experience in Afghan, all right, if there was a movie made of you, obviously you part of the GB team as well, what actor would play you? I think I know.
Go on then.
Is it Elvis?
Idris Elba.
Yes.
No, I'm not that old.
What?
No, it'd probably be somebody like the Captain America.
Oh, Falcon guy.
Yes.
Yes.
Or somebody like Damson Idris.
Okay. I'd like to say thanks to Only Fools and Horses. I'd like to say thank you to Only Forces for sending me that particular question to ask Corie. I look forward to working to you in the future.
Happy?
Yeah, if you guys are.
Anything else you want to cover we've missed?
Did they know about when you used to take your shoes off to fight?
Yeah. No. Huh? I just take my shoes off.
You said like when we go in like shitties and stuff and things kick off, you take his shoes off to fight.
Do you know why? It's because if you get arrested and you kick somebody with shoes on, you get done for using a weapon because you're using the shoes. So I used to take them off and you can get done for using a weapon.
Yeah.
The amount of shoes I've lost, honestly, but go back camp with one shoe on.
Yeah.
Like, I've got one shoe on.